Occupational therapy is not accounting. There is no formula, no right answer derived from a calculation. And I think that one of the most important things that a pre-OT student can understand before they apply, because it changes what you need to demonstrate in every piece of your application. And for the next few minutes, I want to talk about the quality that most pre-OT content never addresses, even though it is one of the things committees are looking at and evaluating: clinical creativity. Most pre-OT students think about OT as a science-based healthcare profession, and it is. Anatomy, physiology, kinesiology, neuroscience, all of it matters enormously. But there is a dimension of OT practice that the science-only framing misses completely. OT is a profession of clinical improvisation, not because it is poorly organized or lacks evidence based on frameworks, because human beings do not present like textbooks, because the environments OTs work in are not predictable, because the occupation that matters to one person is completely different than the occupation that matters to the next. No protocol covers that variability. So, what does clinical creativity actually look like in OT practice? And why do admissions committees evaluate it? I'll show you. You're in a client's home for a home visit. The wheelchair does not fit through the bathroom doorway. The standard transfer technique will not work in that space. The adaptive equipment you brought is not the right size, and your client needs to use the bathroom. There is no protocol for this exact situation. You have your clinical knowledge, your understanding of that particular client, and whatever is available in the environment. Now, you have to create a solution right this minute. That is OT. That scenario happens in some version every single day across all of the practice settings we serve. The OTs who thrive in those moments are not the ones that had the most comprehensive protocol training. No, they are the ones who can think laterally under pressure. Here's what that looks like in an applicant. When I was checking out applications, we were looking at evidence for flexible thinking, not just problem solving. Flexible, lateral, creative problem solving. It showed up in how the applicant described their observation experiences or in their personal statements. Did they notice what the OT adapted? Did they understand why? Did they ask questions that went beyond the obvious? It showed up in interview scenario questions. When we described a situation without a clean answer, did the applicant get rigid and look for the right answer? Or did they reason through the complexity openly and creatively? That difference is visible in about 30 seconds of conversation. Here is how you can develop and demonstrate this quality before you ever apply, and why it connects to a broader criteria that committees are looking at. Clinical creativity is not a personality trait you either have or do not have. It's a thinking orientation that can be developed deliberately. It starts with noticing when standard approaches do not work, and then ask why. It develops through exposure to lots of different OT settings with different problems and different solutions. It shows up in your application when you describe not just what you observed, but what you would have done differently or what you wondered about. When you demonstrate, you find problems interesting rather than frustrating. When your examples show lateral thinking rather than linear following. Committees are not looking for applicants who have all the answers. That doesn't exist. They are looking for applicants who are genuinely energized by not having all the answers yet. And here is the connection between clinical creativity and the other holistic review criteria, because they reinforce each other and they make your application stronger. The applicant who demonstrates creative thinking also demonstrates the beginning of professional reasoning, the ability to navigate complexities without shutting down. They demonstrate self-awareness, knowing when the standard approach is not working, but willing to try something different. They demonstrate value alignment, understanding that OT is fundamentally about finding ways to help this specific person, not applying a standard formula. Clinical creativity is not separate from all the criteria. It runs through them. And the applicants who demonstrate it clearly and specifically, those are the ones the committees remember. If you want more information about this, you can check out my groups and school community, OT Student Leveled Up. Lots of resources there for pre-OT students. And if you want to hang out and work on your application with pre-OT students with me, check out my groups and you can choose one that best suits your schedule. Good luck.